Welcome to the Future of Comedy Show livecast. We're here from the Future of Comedy Show studios with the newest Future Comedy Show regular, Alexa Stanton. She's coming live from some cornfields, and we're going to bring her in. She has some shoddy reception, but we're going to do our best. If you're watching this, you have any questions, concerns, make sure you comment, make sure you like, make sure you share. And we're going to bring her on right now, the guest of the hour, Alexa Stanton. I'm going to move her over to this side. Look at that, hands up in the air like you just don't care. Uh,
Hey,
I love what you got going on there. You're in the cornfields.
I
But
am. They're all
where
around me.
where are you from?
I am currently in Portland, Michigan.
Okay, all right. The
hmm
the Portland, Michigan, famous
Yep.
for what is
It's
Portland, Michigan?
called Two Rivers, the city of Two Rivers. I guess we have two of them.
Oh, nice,
That's all I
nice.
got. That's all I got on Portland. Cute little town. Lots of cornfields.
Are you tubing down the rivers this summer? Or?
I hope so, but I am unfortunately a little too busy on the weekends with shows, which is great, but but no tubing down the river for me.
This is the summer tip I've been telling everybody: is do not poop while you're tubing. uh, because it'll follow you down the river the whole time, and everyone will know it's you because you're laughing hysterically. That's
That is
what.
right.
That's what. And so we got some people popping in. If you're watching, I see that we have some PBS numbers. We got 3 live viewers. If you're watching at home, make sure you're commenting so we can see who's here watching us. Alexa's frozen again. I think she'll come in and out of this. We decided to give it a try, and we knew that the service in Portland was going to be tough. Um, yeah, how you doing? What are you doing out in Portland? What is there to do out there?
I lost you.
Uh-oh. 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 I knew this was gonna I seen this coming. Very funny comic, Alexa Stanton. Not very good service for the stream, but we're trying to let people know we're gonna be at the 308 Brass Rail. Alexa's very funny, hilarious. Camro from True TV Storage Hunter is going to be there. And I forget who the fourth person, I think it's Ronnie Rohrbeck. And it's also my birthday weekend. So come out and party with us. If we get Alexa back in here, Alexa, as soon as you can hear me, just say something and we'll continue to interview
I'm
you
back.
and let. Okay, good. This is awesome. We got 6 live. We got 6 live viewers. PBS numbers. Thank you guys for watching. Like and share. Comment. Check out Alexa's comedy on her Instagram, alexastantoncomedy.com, and you can always get tickets at www.mikeball.com. How long you been doing comedy for, Alexa?
I've been doing it for almost 5 years now.
5 years, and you're all killer, no filler. You were destroyed in Alden and Alpena. We did a
Thank you.
little 2 city tour, and you ripped it up. People were, oh my god, Alexa! They were loving you, and you were selling a lot of butt crack T-shirts.
I was the further north I get, they love me. I don't know what it is.
I mean, it's your in touchness with the corn. They can
That's right.
feel that you know about the corn, the children of the corn. Um, yeah,
But
what
yeah,
what got
I sold all my butt crack T-shirts too. They cleared me right out, and I had to order a bunch more.
good? That's what we're talking about. Selling these T-shirts, making some people in there. Chuck Bates, future comedy show. Chuck Bates, beautiful Chuck here, saying what up? What up,
Hey
Chuck?
Chuck,
Good to see you, brother. If you have any questions for Alexa, let us know.
hit
Um,
me.
uh, yeah. So I read in your bio you started in Seattle. That's how you
Yeah,
started.
yep.
What was it like in Seattle doing comedy?
It was fun. It was definitely different. It's a bigger city, than any cities that we have here in Michigan. So the difference that I saw though was in the open mics is it's 3-minute sets. So you sit there to show for 3 hours and you get 3 minutes of time. But in Michigan, you get 5 to 7 minutes of time. And I'm more of a storyteller when I'm doing my comedy. So
Yeah.
having 5 to 7 minutes to really, work out a story is so much more beneficial than 3 minutes and having to cut a bunch out. And it's definitely I've realized that I've grown a lot more as a comedian by being in Michigan.
Yeah, I think that like if you do a bigger city, it's more of a showcase town. It's like have your have your 5 minutes to showcase, and it better be tight. And it's
Right.
not really. I think it's better to work out in Michigan because you could just they give you so much time, and there's so many places that want to do comedy. Any place in Michigan. I mean, Portland, Michigan. I know they probably have a show, don't they?
They do
I
at the
mean,
Wagon Wheel, the bowling alley in Portland. They have a show there, I hear. I
they're
haven't
gonna
been on
rock.
it yet, so you can't see me there yet, but I
They're gonna,
will.
you're gonna rock them like a wagon wheel over there,
That's right.
Darius. That's what's
That's
up.
right.
Um, that's sweet. So you started in Seattle. What made you? Are you from Michigan or?
I am. I'm from Michigan. So I was born and raised here, went to college here, and then as soon as I graduated, I moved out to Seattle.
Why Seattle? What was drawing at your heartstrings to get out is Seattle known for coffee? Is that what they're kind of known for?
They're known
And
for coffee for sure. Starbucks started out there. They Amazon is also like headquartered out there, so it was
oh
very rough
yeah,
for me, specifically being out there. I couldn't go by my first name.
yeah. Everybody's like, "Hey Alexa, hey
Every
Alexa."
every day. I could only use my real name as my stage name, which usually isn't the case with comedians. That's usually a little different, but I had to go by a different name in public because it was so awful with the Alexa jokes.
Oh yeah, everywhere. Then here we go. We got the police force of Mayo here, Ryan Blair. What's up? Good to see you, brother. Good to see you on
Hey,
our way.
Ryan.
I seen him on the way to Alpena. They were looking for some migrants that were up there. They escaped. They had some felonies, and he was out there doing the Lord's work apparently. And he's going to be coming to the show in Mayo. I forget what the date is on that. I should have that written down. But if you guys are looking for any of my dates, just check out my website www.mikeball.com. We got a lot of shows. Alexa, you're on a lot of the shows coming up.
Woo.
Yeah, and you've been ripping. What's some inspirations for your comedy? What do you say? What do you say that is?
Oh gosh, it's I just live my life. Unfortunately, that I live my life day to day, and the shit that happens to me is just uncanny, and I can't not talk about it. So luckily, I have a place where I can do that and get laughter and not wallow in the terrible things that happen sometimes.
Look at this, Ryan Blair with the comment. August 16th will be in Mayo. Hell yeah, brother. That's what I'm talking about. He's got our back. Yeah. So you draw all your inspirations from your life, and what was it like in the beginning? What got you started in stand up? Like, was there a calling
Uh
or?
no, I so these I'd have these experiences and I'd always say to my friends like, "Oh man, I'm going to do an open mic one day and just talk about these, crazy things that have happened." And I never did. And then I was doing karaoke at a bar one night out in Seattle, and karaoke out there, I could do whatever I wanted because nobody
Oh,
knew who
nice.
I was. I could do, you know what I mean? Like I'm never going to see these people again. Well, I turned into what they called the karaoke queen, and I was
Yeah.
there every Monday, and this guy with a handlebar mustache came up to me after I sang a duet, "Bottoms Up" with Nicki Minaj. I did the Nicki Minaj part. Apparently crushed because this guy came up to me afterwards and said, "Hey, do you do stand-up comedy?" And I said, "No, but I always thought I'd be good at it." I was a little drunk, and I was like, I was
I
every
hear that all the
dude
time.
that exactly, every dude that I talk to after a show that's like, "You're funny for a woman. I think I'd be really good at comedy." Like that was me in that moment. And he laughed and he said, "How much time do you think you can do?" And I said 15 minutes. And I didn't know anything about comedy. I didn't know that that is completely unheard of. I didn't,
Yeah.
I've seen a couple specials on like my stories. I guess that adds up to like 15 minutes, and he said, "Okay, do you want to open for me in a month?" And I said, "Sure." And
That
he's not a great comedian. He's not, obviously, if you're going to book someone after a karaoke performance for 15 minutes, you
yeah.
don't really know what you're doing.
That's funny because like people like wonder sometimes like how do you get into comedy? And because a lot of people think that in their head it's like that. What your scenario was is that a guy with a handlebar mustache is going to be like, "You're made for the stage, baby," and like
Right.
they're just going to take you in, and that kind of happened for you. That's wild because usually it doesn't happen like that. Usually you got to
Right.
seek it out yourself. You got to find your own stages. There's not somebody who's going to pull you in and make you
No.
do a set.
I called my dad immediately afterwards the next day. He's a very big fan of comedy, and I said, "I'm gonna do stand up." And he said, "Oh my gosh, I don't know why I never thought to tell you you should do that. I think you're gonna be great." And I said, "Thank you." He goes, "What do you do in 3 minutes?" I said, "I'm doing 15." He said, What's wrong with you?" I said, "What?" I said, "I thought we were excited about this." He goes, "Not 15 minutes. You can't do 15 minutes." I said, "What do you mean?"
So
Uh,
your dad had some background in comedy then. He
he
knew a little bit about it.
he watches a lot of it, listens to a lot of podcasts, is very up to date on a lot of things comedy, and definitely has listened to a lot of how it works. And not a professional by any means, but he's had a lot of good insight. And so far, it's checked out as far as me doing comedy goes.
Because that is every new comic. They're like, I can do 15, I can do 20, I can do a half an hour, and
Right.
then the lights hit them, and they're like, oh, those are bright. They're like, oh,
Uh,
this, I got a little bead of sweat coming down here. Oh, I got some anxiety
right.
going on here, and they don't even know. So that's a pretty cool start. So you did. How did the show go? How did that go for you?
Um, so the show had to get moved to a bar across the street with no windows and a stripper pole, and
Nice.
that's where I had to do comedy. And I was so nervous. And there were like 100 people there, and I
There's
brought
a
50
hundred
of them.
people.
Oh
Oh
yeah, and I
shit!
brought I brought half of the crowd. Like I'm a very outgoing person. I wanted to make friends. I'd been in Seattle for a while at that point, so I invited everybody
Sleepless,
I knew.
sleepless in Seattle.
And so the first thing I said when I got up there, I said, "Hey, if this goes wrong, I know what I'm gonna do." And I just spun around the pole, and the whole room exploded. And I did very well for my first time doing comedy. I didn't bomb. I got the laughs where I should have gotten the laughs. I Because I'd been doing this my whole life, telling stories and trying to make people laugh. So it was such an easy transition to on the stage, and it was such a moment afterwards where I immediately my eyes filled with water, and I was like, "Oh, this is what I'm supposed to do for the rest of my life. Like this is it for me." And like
That
that was from then on I was all blaze ahead. I was going for it.
I like that you said what I was thinking, but would never say. Is that it's like it didn't work out? You always got the pull there, but
Right.
I would have kept that to myself. But I'm glad you used that.
Thank you.
So that's very. So you had a very good first start, and then what happens after that? Is there another person right there saying you need to do another show, or now do you have to? Now does the reality come in that not every show is going to have 50 people that love you
Right,
at it?
right. No, for sure. I mean, I did that show, and the guy that went up after me, he completely bombed, and we were all stuck in this room with no windows.
His
And
mustache is sweating.
right,
It
he
went from a
doesn't he doesn't do open mics. He doesn't do any of that, which I'm like, how do you get better if you don't practice somehow? Like somehow you have to be practicing and getting better. And then he told me, "Hey, you want to do another show next month?" I said, "Absolutely." He goes, "All right, but I said, "Oh, yeah, but I want to do 20 minutes." He said, "Okay, but it has to be all new material." I'm like,
what?
I said, "What do you mean?" And he's like, "I don't do any material the same twice." And now I know. I'm like, "Oh, you're not a
This guy's just
like
insane. This
right."
guy's insane. He just got
Right.
his own rules for comedy. And he's making you jump through the hoops that he's
Yeah.
making. He's like, here's
Yeah.
this. Yeah,
Yep. And I did that show, and I did 20 minutes. Not I did it. I had a PowerPoint with me, and it was all about my childhood, which I still use bits from that today, like that have grown and into something more. But I had help of a screen to like look at funny photos and talk about like times that I had as a child. And but that one went really well too. And then I started doing mics religiously. And
how,
yeah,
how many how many how many times a week do you usually get up? Would you say?
3 to 4.
Yeah, that's awesome. And you were
Yeah.
looking crispy. You look like
Thank
you
you.
had your edge. You can tell when somebody has their edge. They've been getting up a lot and they've been working at their craft. Yeah.
Thank
I mean,
you.
I've seen you 4 times, and the last 2 times were just incredible. The first few times were good, but the last 2 times were incredible. Where it's like, oh shit,
I
it could.
agree. I agree. The last two are on fire. I thank you. I appreciate it.
And if somebody's watching at home and you're thinking about doing comedy, you can't get high on the highs and you can't get low on the lows because there's going to be different shows, different environments. You never know who's showing up, what happened that day in the audience or whatever. But yeah, you crush, and that's sick. Who would you say was your like favorite comic like growing up? Like who inspired you?
Uh, I love. I wouldn't say like growing up like when I was younger, but when I started getting into comedy, Eliza Schlesinger is someone I think is
Oh
just
yeah,
fantastic.
I can
And
see that some in your
yeah,
comedy. She's very physical as well, where
for
she's
sure.
got the
Yep.
motions, and she's very
Yeah.
funny.
You can do so much with facial expressions and the way that you tell a story. And I definitely I'm not as, nor do I want to be as animated as she is with like voices and doing, like animal stuff. That sounds weird. If you don't know Eliza, she doesn't do animals. She she does voices for animals, and it's done so well by her. But I definitely take inspiration from her, with being energetic on stage and really like putting my all into my act type of thing.
Yeah, and it's good. It's been building. I could tell you've been adding tags and doing all that. And just for the people that are watching, just a quick update. Alexa will be with me this Friday at the 308 Brass Rail in Jackson. And then Saturday, I'll be in Bayport, Michigan, near Caseville. This weekend's my birthday weekend. My birthday, unfortunately, is on a Monday, so no shows on my birthday, but you guys can come out, check it out. And if you guys are at home and you're wondering, you got any questions for Alexa, just type them in, comment, share, like. Do all those good things. What's your greatest moment in comedy where you're like I can't believe this happened.
Ah, I don't know if I can like narrow it down to one. There are little moments of every show that are so special that that it's like, oh man, this was the way that I did this, or this crowd's reaction to this, or the conversation I had afterwards, or things like that. That I couldn't narrow it down to just like one specific, oh my gosh, moment. I guess the very first time I was on stage, when it was like oh, this is what I want to do, like that was the
Yeah.
moment. Uh-huh.
And that's awesome that your dad took to it so well, because a lot of family. I remember my grandma being like, "Are you gonna make a living doing this?" And I was like, "Grandma, I am making a living doing this," but
Yes,
like
I
she
am.
didn't, but she didn't know, She like she lived in a different reality. She's like, "Oh
Right.
well, like," she's like, "Aren't you gonna?" You gonna get into real estate? Like I don't know, like so it's awesome that you always had a support system. Um,
Definitely.
what would be what would you say your worst show was?
Oh my gosh, probably the one I just did. I you come up from a high sometimes after like that weekend we just did, and then you do something that just crushes your spirits entirely. And I'm still gonna get back up there this weekend. No, I did a private birthday party show, and I've never done one of those before,
Yeah,
and I didn't. I, I know now that they really wanted it to be, I think, catered to them specifically, which makes
yeah.
sense. Looking back on it now, that makes sense. Um, but I was the first one to go, and so I took the bullet. And every comic after me, of course, catered their set to them, and I was happy to take that bullet. But it was also a show that was near my hometown, and so that
Oh yeah,
I was like, man, there are people here that know me, and this is the first time they're seeing me, and that
yeah.
sucks. you
Oh
know?
yeah. That is bad. That's always like the worst when somebody comes to see you and you don't have a bad set. I remember
Yeah.
I I remember I brought this girl like to an open mic, and like it was like the first time we ever hung out, and I'm like I've been like I was like doing really well. I was like getting really good crowd reactions. All my shows were going really well, and then I took her to this open mic, and we drove like an hour to get there, and then I
Oh
bombed, and then she looked out the window the whole way, didn't talk to me the whole way home.
no,
Never talked to her ever again.
I
But
I wouldn't want to talk to you either. No one wants to sit with after watching someone bomb. You do not want to like even be near them.
it's weird if you bomb, people don't even look at you in the eye. They're like, don't put
So
that
much
aura around
shame.
me.
I
It
had to
is
come back
shameful.
out with the birthday girl and like take a picture with everybody, and I'm like, just kill me
You
now.
had to sing happy birthday. They make
I
you go back
did.
on
I did. I did.
there. How many people were on the show?
Three of us. Four of us.
Okay.
Sorry, four. Hmm.
Okay. And yeah, that's an awkward situation where they're like, "Oh yeah, roast the birthday girl," and you're
Yeah.
like, "I'm gonna do my material." You're like,
Kind of. I mean, I opened with talking about it, and that hit hard. But then, yeah, as soon as I started talking about me, they were like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "Oh, mm,
"Oh, it's not my birthday."
yeah." I'm like, ooh, this is awkward. I didn't do awful. Like, I'd bring them into my jokes every once in a while, and then the whole crowd would lose it. And then as soon as I'd stop, they'd be like, "Hmm."
Hmm, hmm,
I'm like,
hmm, hmm,
uh,
hmm. Ah,
yeah.
we don't know about that.
And that'll
Uh,
happen, and I'm get and then you wake up 4 times in the middle of the night thinking about it the next night you sleep, and then you get back up there.
that is weird how like it will haunt you for a few days. You're like,
So bad.
ugh. Yeah, it's funny because like, you'll always remember the bad ones. Like the bad ones don't leave you. The good ones you'll remember a little bit, but the bad, you can still get like a little in your
Oh, definitely. Uh-huh.
That's well, that's just to show. I mean, it's a it's a long journey. Is this what you want to do long term, full time for the rest of your
Yeah.
life?
Yep.
Yeah, that's not. You don't want to just get into this to be an actress.
No, something stand-up related for sure. Like the whether or it's sorry, comedy related, whether it's like writing or, or stand-up or something along those aspects, then I'm in it. I love like I've done some sketch stuff with like improv that I've loved doing, and I'd love to do like more of that would be a lot of fun. Um, but yeah, I don't know. I'm down for whatever.
Yeah, and you got a YouTube. You got a couple of YouTube channels, don't you?
Yeah, yep. I've got a YouTube channel, and that's what during COVID I made a sketch series on YouTube that blew up, and it was called Barefoot and Pregnant. So there are
Yeah, I've
three
seen that.
seasons, 3 seasons available on YouTube, which a lot of that is every episode is a rough idea, and my dad is the other main character. His name is Rodney, and my name is Crystal, and it's like a spin-off of Teen Mom or 16 and Pregnant, but like the hick version,
Oh,
they're
nice.
yeah, they're unfortunate. We realized at the end of filming, we're like, we didn't buy any props at all, and we were like, huh, this is only a hair off of our real lives. Like we fell into these characters a little too easy.
It was an
But
autobiography.
right, all was a blast. It was a way that I started doing comedy months before COVID hit, and so I get that bug and that itch, and now on this rise, and then boom, 5 months in, COVID happened. So I wanted to do something comedy, in a way that I could. So doing that with my
Get out the
family
outlet.
was a way I could do that.
Yeah, yeah, that's awesome. That's pretty sweet. Did you now? Does your dad feel like he wants to get on some more stuff? Like, does he secretly want to be a comedian?
Oh, yeah, he no, he would every once in a while he'd be like, I want to do a mic, just to tell this story or something, and I'm always like, come out, but I have a 13-year-old brother, so he's still like a dad right now, like
Yeah,
being an active dad.
yeah. I'm
And
a
so
dad.
whereas
I'm a
you
newer
are, you're a
dad.
new dad, right, right. So you get it. You can't, like the weekday nights are harder to just dip and, especially out of nowhere, for him, where it's like that's your job, but my dad has a job, and then to just go to
How
open mics would be weird.
how would you feel if you got famous, right? And then he was
Mhm.
just like, "Come on, let me open for you." What would you say? He's like, "Come on, let me just do like five. Let me do 3 minutes to open the show."
I
Would you let him?
Absolutely. He's
That's what's
he's a
up.
very he's a very funny guy, and he could easily do stand-up comedy. Like, and
Well,
I know that's why him and my mom's hilarious as well, but my dad is he's done a lot of public speaking as well, so he understands that I think he would crush. And if I have a big enough room where like people know me and know who my dad is because he's already pretty involved in my
yeah.
life, then
I think bring him
he
out to
would
a show.
destroy. He would
Bring him out to a
destroy.
show. I'll give him 3 minutes. Let's do it.
Okay.
We got Scott Sergnal here. What's up, Scott? My homie. I saw Scott in Traverse City. He was out there doing a bachelor party, getting on a boat. He brought the wives of the bachelors and the bachelor party had a joint thing. How do you feel about that? Joint bachelor parties. Are you for or against the bachelor party and the bachelorette party doing it together, or should it be some kind of division? Like, hey, this is our last hurrah. How do you feel?
I'm for it. If everybody gets along, I'm for it. If there are any weird dynamics, totally not for it.
If they try
Don't
to
let
turn it into
someone
a
else
swinger
ruin your
thing,
fun.
they're trying to
Yeah,
make it into a rock the boat kind of
right.
thing. Is that
Like
what was going on, Scott?
if Brad and Susan don't get along, don't all go together.
Yeah, true. True. I didn't mean to get political, but I'm trying to ask the tough questions here. The tough questions. Yeah, I don't know. If I got, I wouldn't be against it, but there's also something about being with your boys and enjoying the night. Um,
Sure.
so what do you, what's your main aspiration? What would be the point in your comedy career you're like, I made it? What would you have to do for you to be like, all right, I did it? And then you could continue afterwards, but you could
Mhm.
say, I made my mark.
No, quit my day job.
Hell yeah.
The To just do stand up full time would be then I'd be like, okay, I'm doing it. at whatever capacity that is. That'd be how I know I'm doing it.
Yeah, hell yeah. That's a good goal to have. What do you do for a day job now?
I edit photos for a company that I don't want to attach to my comedy, but they're
Yeah.
out of Grand Rapids, and yes, I edit photos and I do some video work for a company out of Grand Rapids.
Oh, that's sweet. You do
Yeah.
editing. What kind of editing do you do for the videos? Is this for like weddings and
No, no, no. It's like product photography and
oh,
videography.
okay. I was
Yep.
gonna say, Scott, we could have a wedding photographer for your buddy, but maybe not. Maybe not. But if we got some product to move, we could do some t-shirts with the butt crack on it. We
There we
can
go.
put
There we
together
go.
the merch. And by
Yep.
the way, I wanted to say this. I don't think you're too far off get accomplishing your dream. I think you're pretty close. You're not that far off. It's just a few little things got to happen. You never know how they'll happen. I think it's going to happen for you
Thank
sooner
you.
than you think because
Thank you.
you're pretty like entrepreneurial too. Like you make things happen. Like you're not
Thank
waiting for somebody to do it. You made your own YouTube, you make your own shirts, and you're funny and you got a gift with people to make them come out. That's the main thing is if people want to see you, they'll pay a ticket to
Mhm.
see you. That's the main goal there. Um, you have any
Thanks, man.
questions? You have any questions for me before we get out of here? We got 3 minutes left.
How's new dad life going? Tell me everything you
Oh,
can in three
dude.
minutes.
I love my little baby Maria. Maria Elizabeth. I see her little face in the morning. I'm like, "Mom, baby." I just give her little kisses.
Oh, that's sweet.
She's 2.5 weeks old. She's still eating, pooping, crying, pretty much the basics, but she's laughing now. Or like not laughing, but getting some big
Okay.
smiles. And it's crazy how fast 2.5 months but went by so quick. It was just like, where'd the time go? How is this going so
Right.
fast? So I'm going to enjoy every moment. I'm going to be a little stay-at-home dad when Stephanie goes back to work. I'll be daddy daycare for a little while until she gets out of work.
Hey.
But luckily, we got a lot of family around the area, and there's so much family around here that if I need to dip out for a show before she gets out of work, that we have people to cover, which is
Nice.
nice. And I don't want to slow down doing comedy. I want to be there for my kid, but also I want to be the best comic I can be. So, that's what it takes, getting up on stage 3, 4 times a week, working hard, writing new stuff. And, seeing these younger comics, like yourself, Steve Cass, and there's a ton of people that are working their ass off and they're getting up all the time. It's motivating me because I'm like, oh, dude, I got to write. I got to come up with some new stuff. I got to get things sharper. So I've been doing that and writing harder. And
Nice.
now I'm doing it for not just myself, but I'm doing it for my family. So it's even it's more important than it was
Right.
before. Even though it's a fun journey, but now it has some stuff on there. Anybody watching right now, do you have any last questions with Alexa before we get out of here? You can check her out on Instagram, alexastantoncomedy.com. Check out our YouTube, Barefoot and Pregnant. You can get tickets to see us this Friday in Jackson at www.mikeball.com or in Caseville/Bayport at the Bayport Inn Saturday at 9 o'clock. Great lineups. We got Chucky Bates on Friday, Saturday, or on Saturday. Chuck, Steve Cass, Nicole Melnick, another great comic. Man, this has been fun. I feel like I really got to know you, and I'm
Yeah.
looking forward to working with you and getting to know you even better. And I'm very excited to see where your career goes. I think it's going to be very well. We're going to look back one day, and they're going to be like, "Oh, look at this old live cast of Alexa Stanton standing in a backyard next to a tree in the corn." It's because that's what happens. You do shows when people they blow up. It's like,
Right.
what happened? It's crazy. Like we had before COVID we had why am I blanking? I'm going blank. All right, well it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Things happen.
Hey,
We
thanks
work
for
hard.
having me, Mike.
Yeah, of course, and I'm
This
looking
was
forward to the
great.
show Friday. Yeah, you did a great job. It was very nice. Glad to hear
Ah,
about your thing. Tell your dad you did a good job raising you, making funny, and your mom too. Um, thank you
I
guys
will
for
let him
watching.
know.
Thank you guys for watching. Make sure you like, share, and do whatever, to support this live cast. Thank
Do
you
it
guys so much.
all.
Thank you so much, Alexa. Thank you guys for watching. We will see you another time. Peace be with you.